In our previous video, we discussed tactical targets, tactical elements that create potential problems in your position. Undefended piece, piece with same number of attack or defense like contact, exposed king, pieces with limited mobility, and then finally geometry, stuff like knight forks or maybe there's a lot of pieces on the same rank or file or diagonal, and you can do a skewer and win the piece behind it. Um, Now it's time to put these concepts into practice. I'm going to solve some puzzles on a website called chesstempo and explain how these elements, triggers come into play, tactical triggers. So we have blitz mode and difficulty hard. We are going to be black to move, and the main trigger appears to be the king. Nothing else seems too relevant here. So when it's the king, we have to brute force it. It's mostly a matter of just concrete calculation because maybe when you get more experienced, you will develop some patterns and you will see the checkmating techniques much faster. Okay, here it is important to calculate rook e takes g2. What's the point? The point is that we threaten like a mate in 2 via bishop f5. And is it best? Well, let's just look for other options briefly. I mean, bishop f5 gets kicked by g4, and it looks like we cannot make any progress. What else can we do? Rook h6, there's just king g4, and okay, maybe rook g2, but king f4, and then he kind of escapes. I think this is the best move. Yeah, bishop c2 is the point for sure. But I think we can just play rook g1. This has like a kind of a double threat. We threaten to play this checkmate, and then we basically also threaten bishop f1. I think it's this, and then this. And that was correct. Wow, my rating 1873. So yeah, it's been a while since I used this trainer. Maybe I can get to 2000 if I spend some time on it. The point here. So this is the tactical trigger, the king, exposed king. And what else? So it has nothing to do with undefended pieces. Well, I mean, like, okay, this pawn you have to eliminate so that you can put your bishop here. But it's mostly just the king. Okay, this one will probably revolve around this hanging piece maybe. It's undefended, and we can put the king in check in many ways. Well, let's see. We are in check right now, and we have some options. We can go here, we can go here, that's bad, here, 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 here. All king moves must be bad, because either way, rook d8 is coming. Well, maybe there's like king d8, rook g8, king e7. But, okay, the problem with rook d7, that's probably the worst option, is just rook g8, and we get checkmated in 2 moves. So it comes down to like these 3 options, and I think pawn f5 is going to seal the deal. I think it must be the best move. Or I'm not too sure, because queen h7 is coming. Okay, I think it works. Okay, f5 was, it says it's a good move, but not the best. So, can we do king d8? I mean, what else do we do? Rook f5? Queen e6? I mean, probably king d8, something like that. And then it kind of looks like we should escape. Yeah, okay. And now what? So, I think rook c5 or something, king d2, and well, after this variation, if king d2, then rook c2 is like mating basically. So he must go king d1, but then I think just, okay. And then the line I saw was, I forget, I think it was just this, and then rook c1, right? Yeah. Okay, that was right. So if king d1, then I think the point is this, and then, yeah, it's just a checkmate. Okay, that's fair. About this puzzle, what's the theme? I mean, we were kind of defending ourselves. It was more self-defense because we're put in check and we have very limited options. And you just have to choose the best one. You just have to see that rook d7 fails. You have to see, like, okay, if queen blocks, then basically you cannot win this position. It's just a better rook endgame for white. And then finally, okay, I mean, the king moves, well, I mean, you want both of these pieces to be free because this king is a target, so I don't like blocking with either way. So that leaves this option only. Of course, king b8 would lose. Okay, another king one it looks like. Okay, if we take on g5 and maybe we're just doing okay. I think it's just, okay, fg5, rook e5, rook f5, rook f5, we're just up in material. What's the catch? Why can't we take? It's not so clear. I think we can take. Let's go for it. Okay, now which move to do? So this is concrete. So queen g6 would probably run into rook to e5, I'm guessing. So I think it leaves rook g7 or uh, bishop g7. If rook g7, I think that could work. But why not bishop g7? Because of rook takes e8, queen takes e8, and then rook d8. That leaves only rook g7. Okay, that was correct. Yeah, it's you have to kind of see that there's this critical construction, and okay, after the queen moves somewhere, maybe somewhere else, then well, you just remain up a piece, and you can probably do something. Not there. I don't know. Maybe bishop f6 in this case, right? But no, that would. Yeah, it's still tricky position, I guess. I don't know what to do here. Rook g6 maybe? Probably. If f4, then I guess now you can do this, protect the bishop this way. Okay. Probably related to undefended piece, or maybe it's geometry, right? So we can take here, and then after they take, we have this skewer. The problem is, after we take, there's like knight c6, and that's annoying. So maybe we should actually take this. one line I was considering rook takes, b takes, take here. No, I don't think this works. I was thinking like, I don't know, it doesn't work. So, does knight takes simply work? It's the question. Well, queen takes is bad, I guess. But knight c6, again, knight c6 is annoying. I think we can just play queen d2. After the knight captures on e7, we have like a mating attack. Okay, just queen d2 probably. Right. And then now we just pick up the knight. And that was right. Okay, for this puzzle, it was kind of like geometry and undefended piece, and kind of the king. So knight e3 works because after knight c6 we have queen d2, and we attack this piece. We're threatening to move the bishop away, so he has to take, but then after we move the king we attack both these pieces, and the king is quite exposed. Like if the rook moves somewhere here, then that would just mate everything. So that's why both these pieces are hanging. The rook cannot defend the knight. Okay, last puzzle for now. It looks like from a Sveshnikov Sicilian. Okay, castle. Yeah, very risky. I think, can I not just take here, and if bishop d5, then f6 is met with e4, I guess. Okay, this looks kind of tricky, maybe. So, what to do? Sveshnikov tactics. Yeah, if e4, then I guess we just, I don't know, take on d5, ed3, queen c6. Are we just... I don't think that's so good for us. Oh, after... Yeah, this works, because after f6 we can take the g7 bishop first. Right, now we can... And at this point we can just play queen f5, right? Right? No, but e4. Okay, what's the best move? I don't know. I think it's probably this. And then we can take here, and take here, and take here. That was right. Okay, 2000 rated tactic. Chess tempo tactics are brutal. It's very hard to increase your rating. At the beginning, I was like, what, 1860? I'm still only 1887. Nonetheless, I totally recommend chess tempo. I think it's a great training tool, especially for maybe, well, maybe all players, but definitely especially the novice that mastered like all the philosophical fundamentals, but they don't see tactics in their game. If you are a beginner and you know like all the fundamentals, like you finish this playlist and you just have some basics, but you're not like a great player, then solving maybe 50 puzzles a day on chess tempo is a good idea. You can set different modes. I like blitz and hard because blitz times you. You have to be fast. And from my experience, it's better to solve lots of medium easy tactics, but like lots of them. So you need blitz to kind of moderate your speed and make sure you're quick enough. One of the things that separates Grandmaster from like FIDE Master is that Grandmasters spot tactics instantly, like instantly. And the reason why that's important is because they can just see it in their heads, and because they can, this allows them to focus on positional chess. For the next video, I am going to talk about philosophy of strategy, like like basics of positional chess. So that will be an interesting topic to discuss. It's kind of subjective, but it's a very important building block in your chess game. Anyway, I hope this helps, and so for tactics, just remember those 5 elements basically, and use them when you solve puzzles. Thank you for watching.